Okay, Patrice, it's all yours.
Okay. Since my business is very visual, I printed some pictures, and of course, every picture has a story. So I will give you a little background about it. I had a client that actually, goes to events, vendor events, and everything. And so he wants, and most of his information is all paper. So he wants to draw people to his table, and he actually tells me what the event is about, and I create from there. So this actually is he was doing a Greek festival, and everything in it came from Greece. So there is baklava and breadsticks and olives and olive oil, and it was such a big, huge hit. And he said he has never had so much drawn to his attention at his table, so he continues to use me. So that's a great thing. Another thing is actually the Chamber of Commerce, Lady Lake Chamber of Commerce, did a mac and cheese festival. So I wanted to do, so he had a table also. And so I had a cookbook, and it has, let me see how many recipes, 50 different recipes for how to make mac and cheese. And this spoon and fork says, my mac and cheese spoon and my mac and cheese fork. And it is actually, this is the presentation of it is actually for a cookbook for your countertop. And so it went over very well. And it come to find out, I was at a networking event, and a lady came up to me and said, oh my goodness, I have to tell you that I was the winner of this mac and cheese gift. And she said, we have never made mac and cheese so much, but we've made 4 of the recipes already, and they're absolutely delicious. And she said, and I said, well, do you use the fork and the spoon? She goes, yep, I use the fork and my husband uses a spoon. So it was very cool that she knew that I made it, and she came and told me, because I never really know who the recipients are unless they reach out to me. I cannot include alcohol in my gifts, but I have alcohol related things. And this is I have a local person that can actually melt bottles. And so this is a Wild Turkey bourbon bottle that you can use as a spoon rest or charcuterie or whatever you want. I have a bourbon infused popcorn, pecan bourbon cookies, and bourbon filled chocolates with this. And this has been a very cool different thing, because bourbon happens to be a very big draw.
So where do you get the empty Wild Turkey bottles?
Well, actually,
or do you have to drink them all?
Well, you know what? I had a client, a company that they are really great to their employees, but when somebody passes away, they send a sympathy gift. So she said, okay, I would like to send a sympathy gift, and I would like bourbon attached. I'd like to include a bottle of bourbon. And I said, oh, I can't do that, but I have bourbon related things. And I had bourbon jelly and stuff like that. She goes, okay, well, that sounds good. Well, I happened to be talking to this lady that does these, melts these bottles. And she said, well, you know, if you give me the bottle, I'd be happy to melt it for you. And I said, what? And then we proceeded and talked. So I take the labels off, she melts them. It's actually like a 3-day process. And I attach the labels back on. And so I happened to say to my son, because I know he likes bourbon, and I said, will you start saving your bourbon bottles for me? And he goes, I got 13 of them right now. I said, well, first off, are you trying to tell me you have a problem? And he said, no, he said, you know, people come here and, you know, just leave the bottles and stuff like that. I said, well, why are you keeping them? He says, I just couldn't throw them out. So I had 13 bottles, and most of them were wild turkey, but not all of them were old granddad and stuff like that. So, anyway, she melted the bottles for me, and I've turned them into gifts, and they've been very popular. So he saves his bourbon bottles for me. So, you know, it would cost a whole lot more if I had to drink the bourbon and or have a party and everybody have a shot or whatever. But since I have people saving, and we had a handyman come to our house, and his wife is a bartender, and she saves her bottles for me too. So that's great. And then this is it was for a silent auction, and it was USB Bank. So they gave me some of their promotional products, and I created from there. And their color is blue. And so I just try and have blue as much as I can. This was actually an entertaining thing. This is a memory game. Just this memory game was $30. So it has all very high-end pecans and wine and all that. They provided it. I didn't, in Virginia, you cannot go to a winery and have them put your label on them. But here in Florida, they found a winery to do that. So their bottles of wine actually has their name of their company on, which I think is really cool.
So for a basket like that for a silent auction, I know that it could vary in price all over the place, but what would you say is an average?
Well, this company, every time they give me they give me the budget, and their budget is $250. So I just create from there. And of course, the higher the budget, the more wonderful it is. And it seems like they really participate because I sort of feel like when you have a silent auction, you want to feel like you're getting a deal. But if it's a very charitable cause, people don't mind paying, you know, really bidding it up. So I've never really asked them, well, how much did it go for? And who knows, maybe they don't even know. They're just being nice and supportive and providing a door prize. Well, not a door prize, a silent auction. This one here was, it was actually pasta related, dinner related. And it was a client that does closet organization and kitchen organization. So they have two promotional things. They have a wonderful wooden hanger because they do closets, and they have a wonderful wooden spoon because they do kitchens. So believe it or not, the hanger is in here, but you really can't see it. And the spoon is right here. So I just did a pasta kind of thing, and it had to be very high end. So all the products in here were very high end. And she said, the people are so young and they have so much money. And I was like, what in the world did they do? But anyway, so they knew that it had to be very high end. And I did get feedback and say that they were very impressed and loved it. This here, I actually have a client from Virginia that does a lot of remodeling, and sometimes it's just a hall bath or powder room. And so they just tell me, and I just create something. If it's a kitchen, it's kitchen related. If it's bathroom, it's bath related. Those are the two main things. Sometimes they put on a sunroom or an addition. And so it really just goes with that theme, and they give me the budget. And this one was, I have a travel agent that every time they come back from their trip, she has me create a gift that has to do with where they came from. Well, this was an 88 and an 89-year-old couple that took a trip to Africa. And oh my goodness, but anyway, they said it was too much. No, not Africa, excuse me, Egypt. And first off, I was very impressed, 88 and 89 years old, to be able to do this. But they went for a couple of weeks and they absolutely loved everything, but they complained that there was too much sand. So I thought that that was funny, but I had to think of something. I wanted to include sand in some way. So what I did is I had an hourglass that was filled with sand. And everything that was in it came from Egypt. So, the hourglass definitely was very fragile. So what I did is I padded it real good, but I don't like to just include bubble wrap in my gifts. So this did have bubble wrap around it, but I created more of a gift for it. And then this, excuse me, my husband's getting ready to go out of town. Right here. I'm sorry, guys. And this was everything that was in it. And everything came from Egypt, and falafel mixes, hummuses, chickpeas. There was actually even Egyptian spices. And actually around here, there isn't anything. So I had to order that from Amazon. But so Amazon comes in very handy. So anyway, that's just a little bit of a sampling of the custom things that I did 1 week. And also, with living in the villages, there's a magazine called Best Version Media. And so there's the villages north, the villages south. I live in the villages south. And actually what they did is, since I was a new company, they actually did an article, gave me a whole page and highlighted my business. So that was very, very cool that they did that. And my phone is not ringing off the hook or anything like that, but at the same time, it was nice to have my articles made in print. It's hard to get print nowadays. So I just ship nationwide, and I just love, tailoring it to the occasion and the recipient and making you look good. So
for those that may watch this video, one part of the Tuesday morning group, how can people reach you? Is there an email address, a phone number, or a website?
Yeah. Actually, my website has everything on it, and it's carriedawaygifts.com, www.carriedawaygifts.com. My email is patrice@carriedawaygifts.com. And my phone number is 703-973-6300. And I have gifting programs. I have that keeps you top of mind with your clients. I have a birthday program, a gift of the month program. I have a college care program. And it's, I find it a little funny that the people that do send the college care packages to the kids are all grandparents. And I guess it's because the parents are paying for college. So, but the grandparents are, it seems like my clients are grandparents that are sending to the kids to college. And sometimes they just choose to send it their birthday month. If they do it the 8 months that they're going to school, it's included with the free shipping. So I do closing gifts, all kinds of things. So from baby to bereavement and everything in between.
Very good.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.